Asian Paints is a company that really takes care of its employees. Hello, folks. My name is Neil, and we are running a series of videos in which, in each video, we will take a look at one of the platinum stocks that I like to invest in. And today we are looking at Asian Paints. So let's get on with it then. Let's go to quickly Screener and look for Asian Paints. Asian Paints is India's largest paint manufacturing company. It's also engaged into a number of paint-related products like varnishes and whatnot. I'm not going to read all the list. But the important thing is that Asian Paints does not just operate in India. It has 26 paint manufacturing facilities around the world and has consumers over 60 countries. It has many brands across many countries, such as Asian Paints, Berger, Apco Coatings, and what have you. Um, Beyond the good products that it has and very good branding that it has, and the biggest market cap in India, the thing that I like the most about Asian Paints is that from a employee management and staffing policies point of view, it is one of the best companies. It has never laid off its companies at scale, even though the bottom lines and the top lines were affected. And a company that is full of happy employees is usually a very successful company. That's why I like Asian Paints. Now let's look at the pros and cons that Screener gives us. Company is almost debt free, has a good return on equity over the last 3 years, which is 26.42%. The company has been maintaining a healthy dividend payout, and we'll look at that in detail in a bit. The downside is that the company is a little expensive. It's 22.03 times its book value. Well, we have a very different definition of what's expensive and what's cheap, and we'll take a look at the technical analysis, and we'll do that. But right now, for now, let's take it with a pinch of salt. The company has delivered poor sales growth in 8.76%, and let's take a look at that in a bit. Now, when we compare it with the peers, Asian Paints is the biggest paint manufacturing company in India today with the largest market cap. So it's leading in all of its peer groups. Let's quickly take a look at the profit and loss statement of the company for the last 11 years. In March 2010, the sales of the company was at 6,434 crores, and it has been consistently increasing and increasing and increasing until March 2021. It's true for the last 5 years, the sales growth has not been as stellar as it was before that. But the thing is that even in March 2020, during the COVID crisis and everything, the sales did not take a dip. It has been consistently increasing. The same thing can be said about the profit and loss as well. The net profit of the company was at 836 crores in March 2010, and it has consistently been increasing to today at 3,139 crores in March 2021. The balance sheet is also actually quite good. If you look at the liabilities have had a healthy increase over the last 11 years. But it's not really bad because the assets have increased at equally relative speeds. The ratio has been maintained in a very healthy manner between assets and liabilities. Um, the cash flow are decent, I would say. The cash flow from operating activities has increased over a period of time. Investing activity, well, not that much. It's been up and down a little bit, but I would say it's been maintained well. Financing activities has, again, up and down a little bit. In March 2020, because of the COVID crisis, I would say it was a little down, but then it's, been brought back to what it was before. I mean, it's been getting there. So slight, downside. Same is the case with ratio. The return on capital has reduced over the years, I would say, so it's not a very good thing. The debtor days has increased, and usually debtor days increase means the company is taking more time to return the money that it had borrowed from its debtors than it was before, which is not a good sign. Um, let's look at the shareholding pattern quickly, and that's one of the best things about Asian Paints so far. The promoter stake in the company has remained at 52.79% for the last 11 years, which is excellent, I would say, because the promoters think that the company has a bright future, so they are not selling off the share that they hold, the stake that they hold. So it's a very good sign. The foreign institutional investors' stake in the company has increased from 14.65% to 20.38%, which is also a very healthy sign. Um, The domestic institutional investor stake has reduced, but then if the FIIs are buying and if the promoters are not selling it, so it's got to come from somewhere. So it's come from the DII's share in the company. And the public, of course, the public's share has also reduced from 20.54% to 19.48%, which is very good. From the foreign institutional investors are buying from the DIIs and from the public. Let's quickly take a look at the corporate action of this company. Over the last, I don't know how many years, 2006, the company has been consistently giving dividends twice or thrice sometimes in a year. It's never failed to give out dividends. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's a little bit low, but it has given dividends consistently, which is a good sign. It's sharing its profits with the shareholders. It's also declared a split in July 2013. It's a 1:10 split, which is excellent. Um, and um, and it's not declared a split since then. So which means that, you know, it's been how many years? 2013 to 2021, about 8 years. So I think that in the next couple of years, it should declare another split, which is usually a very healthy sign for the existing shareholders. So overall, the fundamentals of this company look excellent. Um, let's quickly jump into technical analysis and take a look at the charts and decide when we should get in on this. What you see on the screen is the monthly chart of Asian Paint. Now, if you notice, it has a straight curve upwards, which means the stock has consistently grown. Now, looking at it in isolation, you might think all stocks look like this. But let's compare it quickly with a few other stocks. Right? Let's say ITC. Yeah? ITC looks like this. It went up consistently for a while, but then it fell, went up, and then it fell, and now that's the reason why I only rely on stocks where I have at least 15 to 20 years of data. It basically, if there is going to be any fall or any such thing, it tells me uh, a good amount of how good the management is and how the stock is behaving. Let's compare it with another stock like let's say Mahindra and Mahindra, right? Now, Mahindra, not bad, but it's again seen a little up and down. It falls and it goes up and such, right? It's seen some variations. But if you look at Asian Paints, and that's the beauty of some of the platinum stocks that I have, consistent straight growth. There was one big red candle here, and this was no, May 20, sorry, it was Jan 2021, and this is post-COVID crisis actually, if you really look at it. Um, but then it's recovered from there as well. Quickly moving into what would be a good time to enter this stock. For a long-term investor, I would go into the weekly chart. Let's quickly look at the weekly charts. Couple of weeks ago, I see there was a basing candle here and then a jump a little bit from here. So I would draw a demand zone here. If the price comes back down to this level, I wouldn't mind entering. But I always look at two time frames. I don't always decide based on one time frame. I look at two time frames, and I also look at a couple of other indicators. So I will go into the daily chart here and see where the demand zones are, right? So I can see that this is the demand zone that we drew on the weekly chart. It's showing me in the daily chart, and there's a healthy, beautiful basing candle here, and then there is a gap up and a explosive growth here. So I would put my entry line somewhere around here. I see that the wick between the gap between the demand zone on the daily chart and and the next explosive candle. So 2600.6 looks an excellent time to enter in Asian Paints. I would, for a long-term investor, I would recommend that you put an alert so that when the price reaches the vicinity, you can set the trade. You're not going to get it, anytime soon because the price is at 2900, which is 370 points actually, not 2977, 377 points away from the entry line. You'll have to wait and be patient, but eventually there's a chance that you'll get it. Now, let's take a look at swing traders. Now, swing traders shouldn't have to wait that long because they're expecting returns to come in within the week or within the few weeks. So then I would I would find another basing candle from where I see some explosive growth in the daily chart, and I see that there is probably this one It was a jump a little bit. It's not exactly a basing candle, but looks like a sort of explosive growth in the next candle. Let's go to a smaller time frame from here to 60 minutes and see if we can find some basing candles over there. So this was the jump, and I see there's a basing candle here. Actually, a couple of basing candles, if you really ask me. This one. So this looks like a decent time for a swing trader to enter. This is about 2,842 rupees and 70 paise. If this looks too far away, I wouldn't mind entering at these levels either. Because there has been an explosive growth, although it has touched this demand zone and it's become a little unfresh. So there's a probability that this might be breached. So I would keep a hard stop loss. If it gets breached, I would get out. But this would be the safest bet. 2,842 rupees is an excellent entry point. Unfortunately, it's a bit far away for a swing trader. So if you want to take the chance, you could take this one. Combine it with Bollinger Bands and other indicators like RSI. At this point in time, the RSI is a little high, 63. I don't think it'll get below 45, below 40 or 35 when it touches the demand zone. Actually, the safest bet is 2,842 for a swing trader to invest as well. Sometimes we have an opportunity in the near vicinity, sometimes we don't, but we don't get greedy. We wait patiently, plan the trade, and trade the plan. Let's quickly take a look at what an intraday trader would do. So the higher time frame for the intraday trader would be 15 minutes. Excellent, beautiful green candle over here. I see a basing candle over here. I think 2,942 is an excellent demand zone. Let's go to the smaller time frame from there. That's 5 minutes. I can see 5 minutes. There is the same demand zone, I believe. Let's see if I can draw something here. Yes, this is 2,940. Let's put an entry line between 2,940 and 2,942. So 2,941.6 would be an excellent place to enter. And I see there is a basing line here, basing candle here. So this becomes the supply zone. Although it's been breached once, there's a possibility that it might get broken, but who cares? If we make a profit, um, um, I think it's good enough. So let's sorry, let's plot a target over here and a stop loss right over here somewhere. We are getting about 1:5 rewards to risk ratio. I think that's a good enough ratio. Having said that, it looks like we are a little far away. Now, if I were an intraday trader, um, I have a supply zone over a supply zone. I could also short, if you know what I mean. So let's see if we can short it. I draw the supply zone here, and I draw a demand zone here, about here. And then I enter the short trade here, right? And keep a stop loss over here roughly, okay? And my target would be somewhere around here. I don't want to keep the target right over the demand zone because there's a chance that it might turn from here or may not get to the demand zone. I'd keep the target a little bit closer. So I'm still getting a 1:5. Actually, I could even get till here. 1:3 should be good enough for a short trade, I believe. So let's say about here. I'm not being able to catch it. 1:2.74. There you go. That gets me to 1:3. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent trade for a intraday, because by the time it reaches here, I think it would have breached the Bollinger Band probably, or touched it slightly, and then the price should fall. I also see that it's on a wee bit of downward move. It's dropping slowly a little bit. There are lower lows and lower highs. So there's a chance that it might touch and come down probably and meet your target and make the profit. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the content, and I'm always looking for feedback. Do let me know if you find it interesting or if you'd like me to cover some ideas, if you don't agree with me, do let me know. I'm always always looking to learn new things. And other than that, I wish us all the best, and I hope we make a ton of money out of the stock market. Have fun.